Hi, I'm Eric Peterson. I'm a dating and relationship coach for skillofattraction.com. And today's attraction tips video is how to build sexual tension with women. Now, building and maintaining sexual tensions is one of the most important parts in keeping the spark alive. Now, of course, sex isn't the only thing that keeps a relationship flourishing, but it is the key ingredient to keeping her sexually attracted to you. However, sexual tension isn't the only thing that keeps her sexually attracted to you. Typically, women need much more than just sexual attraction. She needs things like romance, affection, the ability to feel safe and comfortable around you, among other things, which we will eventually get to in other videos. So if you're thinking that what I'm about to explain to you here today is all it takes for her to jump into bed with you, well, you're mistaken. It will, however, facilitate that. Because women need a lot more than just your willingness to sleep with her in order for her to be turned on. You see, it's difficult for men to understand because when it comes to sex, we're so easy. I mean, if the woman's the slightest bit attractive and she's willing to sleep with us, I mean, we're in for the most part. But women, on the other hand, they could get sex from whoever they want, whenever they want, in theory. So they're naturally designed to put men through a series of tests before they're able to figure out whether or not we're worthy. I may be dating myself here a little bit, but if you've ever have watched, Seinfeld, there was an episode where they were taking the sponges off the market, and these are a contraceptive. And Elaine loved the sponges, so she went around to all the stores to buy a bunch of sponges before they were completely sold out. And then she realized that she had to, because she had so few sponges, she had to put men through like these rigorous tests to figure out if they were sponge worthy. Well, basically, this is the same thing. See, women need to know that you get it on some level before she's willing to jump into bed with you. I mean, of course, there are times where, she won't put you through all these tests to sleep with you, like in a one-night stand or something. But, maybe she's drunk or just horny or she doesn't care at that moment for whatever reason, but it's a rare occurrence. So what I'm going to teach you here today are some ways to start building sexual tension right away so you could get her interest level and her attraction level traveling up. First, you got to understand that she has to have at least some interest in you before any of this works, because if she has no interest in you at all, you might as well be talking to a wall, because you're going to get the same response, which is nothing. So it's best that you try to figure out if she has any interest in you before you get into this stuff, so you're not wasting your time. Because no matter how high your interest is in her, it's not going to have any effect in how her interest is in you. I also highly recommend that you use all these ways for building sexual attention. But, since you're just learning this, it's okay if you, take it one step at a time, try a little bit, just so you get a feel for it and you feel comfortable with doing it. And these aren't in any particular order. They could be used interchangeably throughout the interaction. And to add one more thing, I just want to make sure that you understand that building sexual tension is important throughout the entire relationship, not just when you're just meeting her or you're in the beginning stages of dating. You want to be building sexual tension throughout the relationship always. Because I'm sure you've heard a lot of married couples that start off really hot and heavy, and then after years down the road, there is no sexual tension anymore. They have become roommates. So you want to keep going with this throughout your entire relationship. Okay, so I'm going to give you 6 ways to build sexual tension with women. Now, number 1 is to always remain centered. And this is where your confidence and your wit are really going to help you along here. Because what I mean by this is that no matter what she says or does, it doesn't affect you and it doesn't change your demeanor at all. Now, This means that you always have that comeback locked and loaded and ready to go, or you have the ability to walk away if she's showing resistance. And just a little side note here, if you could show her resistance, especially if she's really beautiful, it will really increase her attraction for you. Now, number 2 is being mysterious. Now, I went into this in a little bit more detail in a video I actually just recently uploaded called Dating, Revealing Too Much Too Soon. And the idea here is just not to reveal too much about yourself, but you still have to build rapport with her so she feels comfortable around you. And you do this by asking her lots of questions. But you want to ask her like fun questions that communicate genuine interest in her, as opposed to the bland interview style questions. And when she starts asking you questions, you just want to be a little bit elusive with your responses. Basically, you just want to keep her guessing. Because this keeps you a little bit mysterious, but at the same time, she's starting to feel a connection with you because she is sharing so much about herself with you. Now, I actually recently listened to this interview with an evolutionary psychologist, and he was talking about some study that was done where it was shown that people feel a much stronger connection with other people that they've shared things with. So basically what I mean is, like, if I were to share a bunch of personal things about me with you, that I would feel a stronger connection to you as opposed to the other way around. Where a lot of guys, when they meet a girl or they just start dating a girl, they just like, they tell them everything. And they think it's actually creating a connection, but it's actually having the opposite effect. The girl is just like, well, the mystery is gone. You know, what else do I need to learn about this guy? So you want to keep asking her questions and have her give you the answers as opposed to the other way around, like I already said. Now, number 3 is strong eye contact. And by this, I don't mean those intense stares, I mean, she's going to think you're a total creep if you're doing that. So what I mean here is to, look deep into her eyes, but you want to have this, attitude that you want her. So you got to get it inside yourself that I want this girl, and she will be able to read this in your eyes as you're looking into her eyes. And you don't want to look away until she shows a little submissiveness. And you will realize that she's doing this when she gives you like a little flirty smile and she looks away or she looks down, because what this really means is that your dominance is turning her on a little bit. She's getting a little tingle. She's feeling a little submissive to you. And this is really what you want. And number 4 is playfully teasing and sexual innuendos. Now, I went into this a bit in my video, Playfully Teasing Girls is Attractive. And the idea here is you don't want to be insulting with your teasing, but you want to do it in a fun, loving way, similar like you would maybe a bratty little sister. So what you want to do is you want to be a little cocky, but a little humorous at the same time. Really to the point where she's not sure if you're joking or not. And then you want to sprinkle in some low-key sexual innuendos for starters, and then you slowly escalate from there. But you have to be careful here, because if you overdo it, you're going to come off as creepy, and then you're out. So let's say, as an example, let's say that you met a girl out and you've been talking and hitting it off all night, and maybe she asks you, so are you going home after this? And you could respond, something like, oh, you're already trying to get me to take you home. Well, I'm not that easy, sweetheart. And you see where this kind of conveys like this cocky, humorous attitude, and she's not going to be quite sure if you're being serious or not, and it's going to get her interest going up. Number 5 is touching. Now, much like the sexual innuendos, you have to be careful here, because if you take it too far too soon, it's going to kill whatever attraction she has for you. It's just going to like deflate like a balloon, just and again, you're going to be out. So you must start off with something that communicates your sexual attraction for her, but without being directly sexual. So you might want to start off with something like placing your hand on the small of her back, but just for like a second or two and then pulling it away. But you have to be cognizant of how she responds. You know, is she leaning into you when you do this? Is she moving closer to you? Is she touching you back, like maybe on your arm or something? Because if she's touching you back, this is a sign that touching her is okay. And it's more or less a green light that you could start slowly escalating things. But on the other hand, if she's moving away from you or, you know, flat out telling you not to touch her, obviously you don't want to touch her anymore. And finally, number 6 is creating anticipation. Now, if you could do this right, and if she's into you, she's pretty much going to be attacking you soon enough. But the thing is, you have to understand that women getting turned on, it's not like flipping a light switch on and off like it is with us guys. They're more like a dial that you slowly turn up. So the idea here is to be taking 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. Now, I just used the example of placing your hand on the small of her back and then removing it after a second or two. And this is really the same concept. What you're basically doing is you're just pushing things a little bit, but by backing off, you're also communicating that you have self-control. And this is incredibly important to women. I mean, one of their biggest fears is being overpowered by a man that is forcing himself on her. So self-control is really important to her. But by interacting this way, by taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, it's kind of a turn on to her because she knows that you both want it, but you're not exactly giving in. And this is creating a lot of tension. And it's really incredibly powerful. So if you have any questions about building sexual tension with women or any issues in your dating and relationship life, feel free to head over to my website at skillofattraction.com and click on the contact tab and just shoot me a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, if you have an emergency that you need a response from me right away, also on my website, tap on the coaching tab and there are a couple options there where we could do, you know, private one-on-one email coaching. So that's it for this attraction tips video. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.